Oh my god, that's so chopped.
Does anybody ever Uber Eats?
Yeah, we do.
What you need?
I was thinking of Uber eating a smoothie from Jamba Juice.
Dude, I'm excited, bro. We've been talking about doing this podcast for 2 years now, and we finally have got all the pieces together
I know.
to a place where we can do it. And we shot a pilot episode with the boys, but couldn't be happier to have our first guest be the man himself. Yeah, this is our second episode. We shot our first episode on New Year's Eve.
Who was the first guest?
We didn't have a guest.
Oh,
we just
nice.
did internally, just us three, and we live streamed it on Twitch.
Nicely done.
And,
Well, I'm honored to be the first guest.
Yeah, first guest.
Up high, of course.
Represent, there you go.
Bro, you're the one that made any of this possible for us from the beginning. You know what I mean? So
I don't know what you mean by that, but you guys are doing pretty dope on your own.
you brought us under your wing, man. You showed us the ropes. You know.
Because you guys are dope.
Appreciate that.
I didn't make you dope. You guys are dope, and I was like, yo, we're dope at XSET. You guys are dope. Let's be dope together.
Yep, that's what he said.
Yep. So for those of you in the audience, for the audience that doesn't know, so for people who are watching this that don't know, this is Clinton Sparks, and we're honored to have him as our guest. He has, one of the
Can
biggest.
we get an applause?
Yeah,
We got God Crew here from XSET.
We got God as well. Yeah,
God's good, baby. But yeah, Clinton, you've a big name in the music industry, 75+ million records sold, Grammy nominated, just really been able to stay relevant in an industry for a long time where you see names come and go pretty quickly a lot. But yeah, we here, we're excited to have you, and we're excited to learn from you.
Well, I'm excited to help you learn, if that's what
Appreciate it,
do.
sir. Yeah, we're absolutely learn and grow every day, baby. Learn and grow every day.
Yeah.
But can you just kind of tell us about your childhood, kind of like where it all started? Because you're from
Childhood. So we're going
way back.
Session.
We're going way back.
So I'm gonna lay back on this couch.
You're from
So it started with my dad leaving.
No, you're from Boston, right?
Yeah, I'm from Boston, Mass. A town in Boston called Dorchester.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that like in the city area?
That's the hood.
Okay, gotcha.
So when anybody that's watching that knows Boston, the hood is basically Dorchester, Roxbury, Mattapan. When I was growing up, also kind of South Boston, but that was very white. Roxbury and Mattapan was very black. Dorchester was white and black.
Gotcha.
So like that's where you were afraid to go when you were young.
Yeah, I watched that movie about Whitey Bulger, I think his name.
South Boston.
South Boston, right? Southie.
Yeah. Whitey Bulger.
Yeah. That was a good movie. I can't remember the name of it, but it
There was a lot.
Like 5-6 years ago.
There's a bunch of them. The one with Johnny Depp or the one with Jack Nicholson, which is The Departed.
The one with Johnny Depp. So The Departed's really good.
The Departed, that's basically Whitey Bulger.
Okay.
They just don't say that in the
Yeah,
name.
yeah.
That's who it is.
But the one with Johnny Depp was really good too, as well.
Yeah, Departed though. The Departed.
The Departed,
yeah. Is the good one though.
I've never been to Boston before. I've never been up there, but I know we just opened up that
XSET Gaming Lounge.
XSET Gaming Lounge, y'all put in there.
In Boston. We, stop saying y'all.
We.
I said we, didn't I?
He said y'all.
So next trip, we go to Boston. We do got a big
absolutely.
Up there for
So
sure,
all the XSET Gaming Lounge we're gonna build from Dre's in Vegas to Big Night Live in Boston, and we got a bunch more coming. Like those are you guys' places too. So whenever you're in that city, it's. I feel like I implore that you guys go there and game.
Yeah,
I feel like I need a Boston Red Sox game in my life.
Have you ever been to a Red Sox game? Me either, bro. I've been to Boston twice, but
I'm a Yankees fan.
Well,
So
we have a partnership with the Red Sox, XSET does, and there'll be a lot of opportunity for you guys to be on the field, on the Green Monster, and maybe games somewhere inside Fenway. Just saying.
I can get in a game.
I'm just saying.
Now I'm batting.
Now I'm batting.
They should actually do that on the first pitch. They should also have somebody
Like
be
the
able
first
to
hit.
hit
The first hit. I like it.
That's a good idea.
They should introduce that where it's like where you get someone gets the first pitch and another celebrity gets his first swing at somebody.
But
that'd be
have you
really
seen
good.
some of the first pitches?
Dude, 50 cents?
The what?
You ever see 50 cents?
Yeah, when it went into the stands.
Dude, you know what's funny?
I did it really?
Yeah.
I never seen it.
It's so bad. It's almost like, can you cut to that? Can we cut to that?
Yeah,
we can cut to that.
Right here.
And his first pitch was not great. just a bit outside.
All right, now you can see how whack that was.
Some of the first pitch montages online are crazy. Like
It's almost like, how could you even throw something
You're
that
nervous?
bad?
You're nervous?
I don't even. It's one thing if you don't go down the pipeline, right?
Well, your
But to
arms-
go over there?
It wasn't in the stands,
it-
but
it-
it like landed down or something, I think.
No, it went way over there.
There's
There's a bunch. Some went down.
This guy's
some-
trying to throw a 40 whip behind him type shit.
Isn't it funny though? Like you look at 50, you think 50's a tough motherfucker, right? You wouldn't want to fight him. And then when you see that, all of a sudden you're like, I'm not sure if he's a tough one. Isn't it funny just as a dude, although he'll still beat your ass, but it's funny, you just all of a sudden think like, maybe he's not as tough anymore.
Schwarzenegger just didn't
If you
expect
can't
that
throw a
one.
ball straight, maybe you're not as tough as
Maybe
you are.
you guys have a lot in common. His dad was gone, and they never did that. It all started in the corner.
Yeah, but if you can aim something else well, then how
Touche.
So what made you want to get into the gaming world? Were you a gamer growing
all
up?
right, so we just skipped the whole childhood.
Well, we talked about the Boston. We kind of got away from it.
Started with
So
Sega Genesis.
Yeah, you gotta pull the guy back in.
yeah.
Don't let me lead the conversation. We go to
Okay.
the left, you pull me back
Okay,
in.
I'm pulling you back
All right,
in.
so-
So born in Boston.
Yeah.
And going from the hood to getting involved in the music industry, was that at a young age? Did you always start?
Well, yeah. So I was making music like most people that start doing music, well, especially my age. It's just something you do in your bedroom, and it wasn't like now it's the in cool thing. When I was a kid, everyone made fun of me that I was doing music. Oh, what are you gonna go make the beats?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like that's what I would always hear from my friends because they're all out, doing whatever shit. Now everybody's a fucking rapper or a DJ or a
Right.
producer or a gamer. But back then it wasn't. So I basically was kind of a lonely kid and didn't have many friends growing up. So radio was my best friend, and I would just listen to the radio. And I know that. No, he's laughing because I have a song called Radio, and that's why he heard it. But yeah, so I would just try to manipulate songs in my bedroom to do versions of it that I wanted it to do. And I think it all stemmed from sitting in the backseat of my mom's car and her always playing, the Commodores, the Michael Jackson, the Hall & Oates, if you guys know all those.
Oh yeah.
What I want
you got.
Yeah,
I'm a
Earth,
jukebox.
Wind and Fire.
Kenny's
all that
full of
stuff.
surprises.
I'm a jukebox for sure.
The funny thing about that is when you're a kid listening to Prince in the back of your mom's car, and you're like, I knew a girl named Nikki, I guess you could say she was a sex fiend. Seen her on the hotel lobby, masturbating to a magazine. You're a kid, you're singing it, you have no idea what masturbating is.
Y'all were dirty back in the day. We're just more like, I'm gonna do it. Y'all were like, y'all dressed it up way
It was
different.
subtle. It was subtle. It was
yeah.
subtle. All right, I'm about to go left. Remember to pull me back. It was like nowadays, like nobody makes love songs anymore. No one makes songs like "I'm sorry for hurting your feelings."
No, you're right.
No one
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
songs like
Baby, come back.
that doesn't exist.
Now it's wet
Any
ass
kind of
pussy.
fool could see I was wrong. But no one says that anymore. Now it's like, I fuck you, bitch. You don't want to fuck that. I'll just go fuck another bitch. Like it's like, damn, man. Do you not have feelings?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
The emotion. It's like emotionless. It is.
dude, and it's all braggadocious, and it's all about everyone's got the most jewelry, the best cars, sells the hardest drugs, fucks the most bitches, and has everything. It's like, that's your life? Like you actually, and honestly, you actually enjoy, even if that was your life, you would actually enjoy that being your life? What fucking substance is there to that? So back to my point, which I forgot what it was.
Radio, mom in the backseat.
Yeah,
Music.
so, whoa, mom and backseat. What kind of show is this? Yeah, I would listen to those songs, and music just was something, I knew early, like, this is doing something to me. But, like back then, now you really think you can be a superstar tomorrow.
Right.
Like, I can go viral, I'll get 1 million followers, I'll go buy fake followers and streams and plays, and like, I look like I'm cracking and I'm really not.
Yeah.
Back then, you actually really had to be cracking for people to fuck with you. And you also didn't have the internet or social media, so I would shovel driveways, make enough money to pay for gas in my beat up Chevy Blazer when I was 19, 20, or like 20, 21. And then I would drive to New York, which is like a 4-hour ride, and I would stand in front of buildings in the freezing cold, just waiting for someone that looked like they worked at a record label. Like, man, do you work at Def Jam? And they'd be like, yeah, why, what's up? And then like you have to sell yourself in 30 seconds on why you should fuck with me.
Yeah.
Right? And then I'd make my way into offices. So that was the beginning of me getting some legitimacy and making real contacts. But prior to that, I was in talent shows, I was a rapper, I was a dancer. I used to choreograph the cheerleaders back in high school. But then like in Boston, like I'd be in talent shows and I'd produce all the local rappers and I'd start DJing. So I was kind of popping in my city.
Right.
But
you gotta get out from the city, which is the hardest part.
Well, in every industry, especially in the music industry, like you have to be celebrated outside of your city before your city starts claiming you.
100%. I was just about to say that. Yeah.
Right? So, but that's a whole nother story. But then, you know, it was a dream back then. That was my point. That everyone thinks they can make it overnight now.
Right.
Back then, it was like this doesn't happen in real life. Like, right. So, you know, you then go and I was a criminal all my teenage years. So I would like rob houses and steal cars and stick people up and stuff. And then, like the end of my teenagers, something happened to me and made me realize, fuck, this is a horrible life.
Did you have like a coming to moment where you were like, I can't go down this path anymore? Like,
I had two of them. One was we were staking out a bank for 2 weeks, and we were like literally in bushes across, like just kind of. And then I like the day before, I was like, I can't do this shit, man. Like if we get popped, I'm fucking, my life is over. Yeah. So I bailed. They ended up doing it, getting away with it the next day, but I bailed from it. But and then the second thing that happened was I had stole a bunch of brand new snowblowers, and I hid them behind my girl's garage. And her dad found them. Now her dad was kind of like the first man that I ever like respected and like admired and like was a model of a real life man. Because prior to that, I looked at people on TV and movies as how to be a man. Yeah. Because my dad wasn't around.
Oh, was your dad not around?
No, and then like, you know, I had a really tough childhood and I was sexually abused for many years in my house from a man. And so I would, like Sylvester Stallone and Bruce Willis and those guys, watching them on movies was what I thought a man was supposed to be.
Right.
Because they were like, you know, they were tough, they cared about their family, they kept people honest, they fought for good. Yeah, so I'm like, that's what I modeled being a good man after. In addition to like all the things I'd see around me that people were doing wrong or that would cause problems in families or in neighborhoods, I'm like, it's so easy to see like, oh, that's creating that problem, let me not do it. For instance, like, hey, cigarettes, you could probably get cancer and die, maybe not smoke. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, but people still do it, right? And that's with life. When you see like, oh, your family doesn't like you because of this, or you're not getting a job because of this, or you keep getting arrested because of this, the answers are there if you just fucking listen. Yeah. Most people just don't listen or care to pay attention to the answers that are being thrown at you in life every single day. So, so my girl's dad found those snowblowers, and she was like, my dad found the snowblowers and he said you're a loser. And that, like, even when I tell this story, I always get a little bit of like emotion when I say the word loser, because I never knew I was a loser. And I never had anybody that mattered enough to say you're doing loser shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I was lost. I didn't have guidance. I'm trying to survive. Yeah. Like I'm homeless. Like I'm living in my car thinking I might die because it's so cold tonight. I'm probably not going to wake up. So I didn't really have anybody saying. Now, let me go back in case anyone tries to fact check me one day in the future. There was a point where my mom sent me to my dad at 15 to a suburb of Boston. I lived with him for a couple of years. However, my version of what I thought my dad was as a man, which also played a role in my man, because my dad's a real man's man. Mm-hmm. You know, straight back, shoulders up, and like people admire him. When he walks in a room, he commands respect. Because you're just like, this dude will fuck me up.
Just has that aura when he walks in.
Was he Army or anything?
Yeah, he was in the military. But as I grew up older and became a man, I realized I was admiring something I thought he was. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then, which probably just like the movies, right? Yeah. And then you grow up and you start to realize what a man really is and what kind of man you want to be. And when you decide what kind of man you want to be, nobody's words or actions should be ever able to waver you from that man you decided you want to be. And if you allow them, then that means they're a stronger man than you are for yourself, right? So, so when she said, my dad's a loser, my dad said you're a loser, it just hit me like, fuck, I am a loser. And back then we used to read the newspaper to look for jobs. So I looked in the back of the newspaper, and I seen UPS was hiring, and I got. No, prior to that, I had a bunch of part-time jobs, sub shops, moving companies, stuff like that.
Right.
I was always a hustler.
Yeah.
Like whether I was stealing from you or I was working, I was always the best at it, right? And
yeah, you can't knock that, right?
And then,
hustling.
And then, yeah, I mean, like, dude, like anybody that's a good criminal can be a good business person if they decide to use it for good now.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
Because the same concepts apply.
Yeah. So
I just got us 6 free waters downstairs because I said I was an honors member.
whoa.
That's more of a con artist, but
well, that was lying. There's difference. So then I went and got a job at UPS, and just that started my journey of like, I'm gonna be the best motherfucking worker. And then I just did that for years, and then I realized, a lot of times people take time to find out who they're gonna be and where they fit in the world based on how they grew up and how they were raised. Some people had great parents that supported them and encouraged them to do well, and some people didn't, and then they don't know what to do when they're fucking lost. They got to figure out. They fall into the wrong, associates to like, yeah, you should do this, you should do that, and you don't know better.
I want to say something funny. I guess I did shrooms, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Not did acid. It was acid, definitely acid. I called him crying on the phone. It was right before my kid was born. I called him, and I was crying. He just sits the phone down. He goes, I know where you're at in your trip, buddy. He said, go ahead. So I just started talking to him, but I was like, my dad never said, it's kind of going back to what you were talking about, how your dad wasn't there. Split household. He never said he loved me. Yeah. And I just started going, like, it really got to me. And I was like, when my kid's born, I want to make sure he knows that. You know what I mean? And just, you have that image, and I'm like, I don't care about anybody else. I'm going to give my kid whatever I missed out on. You know what I mean? And just like all the movies and stuff, I'm like, I don't need all that. That's all
what's
fake.
funny is that even though you're kind of like downplaying it and being casual about it, I know that's you technically could cry the moment you said that if we weren't on camera and you were just telling a story.
Yes.
No, but seriously.
No, seriously. That's what I'm saying. I was balling.
Yeah.
And I was letting it
Without
ride.
mushrooms, that's something that would make you
it just tapped into me. I never even thought about it like that.
Yeah, and we don't, a lot of guys don't have the privilege to come out and cry about I was molested or I didn't feel this or I didn't do that, because we're told our whole life it's like, man up, pull your skirt down, stop being a bitch,
right,
this and that, and it's just like, damn. So that's what makes a lot of men go out and then fight and fist fight. It's like, where can I break down? The only thing I know how to do to get my anger out now is to do wrong, or to make myself feel like a stronger man by having a bigger body count, or like whatever it is. And you come up with these things to compensate for what you can do with all this alpha energy that you have.
Right.
And I think, the world needs to discuss and talk about more, like I can cry on the drop of a dime because I have so much happiness in me that I built, but that pain, it's like having a scar. Like you can't get rid of it, it's there. No matter how much makeup you put on, it's still there, right? So like, I could be the happiest, most successful guy in the world, but I can also, you play Father of Mine by Everclear, I'm fucking crying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that song is literally my story.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy for me to be a poor white kid in a black neighborhood. You know what I mean? Like, literally the lyrics of that song is my life. It's okay to call your boys and fucking hug and be like, because we all are holding in this fucking hurt. And we're not sharing it with one another or allowing each other to break down and respect the fact that someone, because maybe you can't relate to what I went through, right?
Right.
But you still can relate to another feeling that you feel that might bother you from something. Maybe you were bullied in school. Maybe maybe you're not a good looking dude, you've always felt insecure, like whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And like, everybody hurts, right? Everybody hurts.
That's a message I always tell my stream. I'll be like, you don't never know what someone's going through. Everyone's got shit going on. No one life's perfect, so someone's got a problem somewhere. Like I promise you this, life's just gonna be like this the whole entire time. It's never like this.
So everybody hurts, but everybody doesn't release that hurt in the right way, and everybody doesn't know how to release that hurt. So, anyways, went to UPS, got a job.
When you were at UPS, now did you put music on the back burner, or were you still doing the music?
So I've always done music, and it was like I said, it was always those things like you don't think it's real.
Right.
So what ended up happening at UPS is I was carrying an 85-pound package up some makeshift staircase and it broke, and I hurt my back and I had to get spinal surgery. So I never graduated high school, and all my jobs have been hard labor, so I can't do that anymore either. Yeah. So now it was literally, oh shit, I have to make this music stuff happen. It wasn't even like
you didn't have the other option to go out and hustle with your hands anymore.
And this isn't like a to the moon, we're gonna make it happen statement I'm about to say. I genuinely was like, there's no plan B, and I was almost naive to the fact that there was a potential I could fail, because I'm so like, I'm gonna do this. Even when people say, what if it doesn't work? I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I couldn't even fathom it not working, because I know my drive and my passion. There's never been any goal I've had my entire life, and I'm in my 40s now, my entire life, that I didn't accomplish, ever. Because I know that I won't stop until I get it done. And no one's going to get in my way from getting it done. And I have receipts for the past 20 years to prove it.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a mindset. And that's not an easy mindset to have. If it was easy, everyone would do it, right? So.
It is an easy mindset to have if you understand what to do with all the other shit that's in your head. But that's a whole psychological podcast.
That's a whole psychological thing.
I just found out like this thing, it's called like the 5-second rule. Because after like 5 seconds, doubt creeps in your mind. So it's like whenever you're faced with something or you need to make a decision, just count down from 5 and then just go. I was like, I'm just going to start like implementing that in my life and just trying it. Like, even if it's, I want to talk to that girl, but I can't. I'm afraid. You know what? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's just go get it. What's the worst?
I think if you spend time thinking about it, you'll convince yourself that you're right.
Exactly.
I think you need to just do it.
And what is it? Whether you're right or you're wrong,
you're always right.
When you think you can or you can't,
you're right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that was another thing I was going to say. The fact that you were so honed in. I've seen a lot of stuff where people say it's not good to have that fallback, that plan B, because your parents are always like, well, what's your backup plan if this doesn't work? Well, I don't want to have a backup plan because this has to work. This needs to work. I need to know motivational wise, psychologically for me, I can't have that backup plan. I need to know that this is plan A and this is what's going to work, and there is no plan B. So I think that adds a different element.
But because look at social media, like you guys have grown up in a different time, right? And social media has all this fake inspiration.
Yep.
And they try to pump you up with motivation.
There's a lot of bullshit out there.
From a bunch of motherfuckers that haven't even done the thing. The new trend is motherfuckers trying to show you how to do shit that they haven't even done yet. Or
that's
motherfuckers still trying to find their own way, trying to show you how to find your way.
Especially in the motivational speaker realm. They're like, buy my motivational class. Like, what have you done?
Well, the thing is, you have to pay attention to the messenger and not the message.
Right, correct.
Anybody can regurgitate what they've heard.
Words they've heard online.
Or aggregate information, share it, make it seem like they're a smart guru. And by the way, there's nothing wrong. See how killer that was? I wasn't even looking, I was going for the mic. There's nothing wrong with listening to people that spent a lot of time studying. They can now share it with you. But you have to be mindful of who you're listening to. You have to pay attention to the messenger, not the message. Because you have to listen to those that have done the things you're trying to do, but consistently. Win, repeat, win, repeat, win, repeat. Not someone that just got lucky because they invested in Twitter earlier. Or because they did this one thing great. Great, you're good at that thing. Yeah. And there's a lot of other things. By the way, we don't even know if you were lucky, who helped you, who was around you, what failures you had. Like, we don't know that. So people just have one win and then run around like, you might wonder why I did this, da 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 da. Well, let me show you how you can dominate the fucking world now too. And it's like, dude, your life still fucking blows. And you're a shitty dad. And your marriage is falling apart.
No, he's right though.
You got all these other things. It's like, that's the thing. You have to look deeper than just believing or listening to someone talk. Because somebody can talk a good game. There's a lot of fucking actors out here, man.
Yeah.
Like the internet fucking lies, and it throws up on top of you all day with fucking lies.
Yep.
So you have to go and Andrew Tate comes in here and he's like, yeah, he's awesome. Is he really?
Oh, wait.
You know what I mean?
Don't get that guy started.
But I'm using him as an example. There's hundreds of people out here that you can use as that same example. Yeah. And then you get all these motherfuckers that buy into it or look up to him or give him fucking the spotlight to be and I'm not pointing him out because I don't know him personally, but I'm just saying to allow people to be douches. And then what that does is it makes other people think this is how you're supposed to be. So now you build a fucking cult of douches. You know what I'm saying? That don't really understand, and they don't even know they're being a douche because that's all they know.
It's a trend. It's whatever. In
Yeah,
style at that
it's
time.
tough. I think a lot of Andrew Tate's content gets misconstrued because in long form content I've listened to him, he has some good points on certain things, but you know you're not going to agree with 100% of what everyone says. You know what I mean? But I agree with you back to the message versus the messenger. You have to look at the messenger and what type of person they are versus the words that are coming out of their mouth.
You're absolutely right, but hold on 1 second. Hey, can somebody call down and ask if we can have an extended, like, I think you check out at 11 probably.
What'd she just say?
Call down in front desk.
Oh,
Yeah.
very excited to check out. Is that what like one of the people who were
Yeah,
here?
she was asking if we was checking out today.
Oh,
Yeah, they can't say it's good. We have to call downstairs and tell
Yeah,
them.
that's what she said. Call down.
Be there real quick.
Tell him we'll be out in 30
Walk
minutes.
down
Or, I don't know, anyway.
Just tell them we need it.
Yeah, just tell them we need to
like,
check
hey,
out.
We'll be out in 30 minutes.
No, we got to call down. You have to use the phone. I think the phone's over there by the bed.
Hey, cool, you want to just call them and just say,
Y'all are different than me.
hey, can we have a late checkout? We need a... So I'm not feeling well. I need like another hour to get my...
He needs a smoothie to process.
just have them call and lie.
He needs to just have him go. Mrs. Hilton honors
Trying to
number.
put out this fire. Trying to save your whole building. It's been 30 more minutes. Just have him call him.
Hey, can you put the hot water on for tea over there?
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
Is there any way I can have a little late checkout from room 404?
No, don't say it anyway. I need.
I put it over
I can also teach you how to do shit
Yeah,
the right
I
way.
mean, yeah,
It's all about word placement.
it's the yeah, exactly. It's the little.
You ever
That's
see
something
Dane
he's
Cook?
very good at.
When you
Yeah.
talked about where you place the word fucking,
I don't
oh,
know.
that's hilarious.
Yeah, you're taking me back with him.
What do they say?
Damage together. Not possible.
Cool.
So I just gotta send it, but yeah, they got someone like coming in soon, so
That's fine.
I don't know. I mean,
It'll be
I'm a
fine.
Hilton.
We'll be right, yeah,
You have to say, hey, I'm a Hilton
We're
Artist, and I need to check all
You
that.
should have led with
I'll do
that.
it.
He goes, I'll do it.
So back to the music. Sorry, I keep bringing us back into
Well,
the
let's
music
make,
side of
sorry,
things.
we had to interrupt for a moment because they were knocking on the door trying to throw
Yeah,
us
we
out.
got- we
It's
interrupted.
all, it's all good. It's
But
all
God
good.
who handled it.
We
ladies and
handled it.
gentlemen.
Yeah.
We sent him out there. Yeah, we were like, what's the minute of that?
So from a music standpoint, did you have like a big break moment, or did you just gradually come into the scene and like start making noise in your town, or did someone take you under their wing? Talk about that for us, so we could kind of see how you go from a kid in Boston in the hood to 75 million plus records.
Right, so it relates to everything even from a gaming point of view, from a gamer, right? It's like you're your own business, right?
Mhm.
So you have to build, you have to brand, you have to market, you have to find your community, you have to find your audience, you have to create something that makes you different and compelling to watch and care about. So that's what I did when I was young. I'm like, what can I do that's different from everybody else? So in 2000, when I really kind of started, I knew that if I wanted to be taken seriously and if I wanted to treat myself like a business, I had to act accordingly. So the first thing I did was come up with a tagline. So it was Clinton Sparks, Get Familiar. I was calling myself a brand since 2000, like over a decade before people started saying that. In fact, the first decade I was doing that, everyone would laugh at me and say, man, you ain't a brand, dog, you a DJ, right? And I was like, small minds.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's like they totally don't understand the value of treating yourself as a brand.
Absolutely.
And having a tagline. So that's what I would do. I would just make really original shit. If somebody else was doing stuff, I didn't want to do it. And I just stood out by doing so. And I had extreme patience. I gave myself a 5-year plan to just allow people to take my phone call. Within 3 years, I became recognized as the nation's #1 radio DJ, the top new mixtape DJ in the street in New York City at like the Grammys for mixtape DJs.
Yeah.
Placed my first major record, got $15,000 for my first like major record. It was dominating the streets with mixtapes.
You put a lot of artists onto the mixtape game, didn't you? I think I've seen some clips and stuff.
Yeah.
About artists
So I
talking
owned
about it.
I built the biggest mixtape site in the world. So like from DJ Drama to DJ Khaled, I helped make them become global names because of that. So even Khaled, for instance, I'll give you an example of Khaled, who we all know is fucking awesome. Back in the day, Khaled was already popping before me, but he was like the man in Miami.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So like you couldn't go to Miami as an artist and not go see Khaled.
Khaled, right? Yeah.
And so one day, when I'm in New York, I see a stack of mixtapes in someone's office. I see Khaled has a mixtape. I was like, Khaled makes mixtapes? Because I know everybody and everything about mixtapes, and Khaled wasn't a mixtape DJ at the time. So I took it and I listened to it on my ride home. And when I listened to it, I was like, holy shit, this is fucking phenomenal. He had like Timbaland and Scott Storch like literally making beats live on his mixtape. And I was like, nobody will ever fucking hear this. And I'm like, so I called Khaled. I'm like, bro, I need to show you how to get the fuck out of Miami because nobody knows you outside of Miami. So we set up a meeting. I think we met in Puerto Rico or Dominican Republic. We set up a side meeting. Khaled does his Khaled thing, like, nobody bother me, Sparks is here, big talk.
Yeah. He's like that all the time, by the way. That's him.
He's always been the same, like, super dope, hard working, passionate Khaled.
Very passionate,
And he sat and he listened, and I was like, this is what we gotta do. And he goes, I need that. I need you, Sparks. And then he goes, remember that kid, Lil Wayne? And I was like, yeah, of course. Because there was a point, if you guys remember, that Lil Wayne was super popping, then wasn't really doing anything, then came back and became Lil Wayne the Carter and everything.
Yeah, he's with the Hot Boys back in the day. Yeah.
So Cash Money, yeah. So I was like, yeah, of course. He goes, he just gave me like 11 records. I don't really know what to do with it. And I was like, I do. So put that mixtape together. It was Khaled and Lil Wayne. Blew it up, made it a big deal, and it was so big that like Lil Wayne performed on Jimmy Kimmel's show and changed one of his lyrics to say Mix Unit, the name of my company, in his song. And that was the catalyst that kind of made Khaled like legitimized outside of Miami to people that fuck with mixtapes in his association now with Lil Wayne.
That's dope.
So like, I mean, I have 100 stories where I played a role into like helping push somebody to the limelight or discovering them or breaking them. Because that's what I did. And by the way, I did those things out of the desire to just do dope shit and also to help the culture that I love so much, which is hip hop. So there was never like, yo, make sure you break me off a bag, or like the world today, like everybody wants a bag.
Yeah.
Right? It's like
that's a new famous line, break me off a bag.
Nobody builds value. Nobody cares about, let me just be a value add to all of you guys.
Correct.
It's
Yeah.
all gonna come back tenfold. But that goes back to my other point, patience. Right? So like, I do shit for people every day. You'll call me and ask me to do something. It's a little different because we work together, but like, I don't say like, yeah, like, but yo, do this, or like, yo, can you break me off? If I was like, no, here. So like, I built my career off of just doing and serving and adding value to others to the point. Here's the trick, and this comes back to, so the word manipulating is looked at as a negative word.
It is.
But a lot of times you have to manipulate situations for the good of everybody, right? So like, I know that if I'm doing all of this good, what's gonna happen? Yo, Sparks, you need me to do anything for you? Well, now that you mention it, I know that's gonna come, but you have to have the patience. You know what I mean? And like, this young generation is just like, what can you do for me?
What's right now? And what is it?
Yeah, like,
Instant
Instant gratification, yeah.
And it's like, it's not a new fad, but it's just more prevalent now because everybody needs something.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, everybody's looking for you like, yo, can you get me in this event? Can you get me this? Can you do this for me? Can you put me on your stream? Can you da-da-da-da? And it's kind of like, not to be a dick, but like, one, why do you think you deserve it? Two, look at all the work I did to get here. You think I'm just gonna fucking uplift you for no reason? And then three, what have you done for me? Like, what are you giving out? Like, I do shit for, like, someone like Godku. He's such a beautiful human being, and he cares about so many people that despite that we're in XSET together, even if he left tomorrow and said, fuck XSET, I don't want to be there no more. Next year, if he calls and says, yo, can you do this thing for me? Sure, what do you need? Just because he's a dope-ass human.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like, people don't put enough, the best IP you could build is yourself. And people don't spend enough time on doing that. Instead, they're worrying about my brand, my music, but what about you, bro? Like, what about you? Why should we like you? What substance is there about you? Fuck your song. Strip all that shit away and you didn't have that? What about you?
Yeah, what kind of human are you?
Do you suck? Or are you actually a great dude? Because I don't give a fuck if someone has the greatest music or the best gamer or tons of numbers online. That's secondary to let me talk and get to know you. And if you're a dick, I don't care how fucking dope you are with your numbers or your music, I ain't fucking with you. And people put the numbers in front of the substance of a person. Most people will jump on a stream with someone because they got a bunch of numbers, even if they don't agree with why they got those numbers.
Yeah.
That guy's an asshole, but he's got numbers. I want to be down with him. Well, that's a reflection of you now, and now you're a dick.
Now, have you ever like, you don't have to name drop, but Are there people that you run into you're like, I just don't like that as a person, I'm not going to do anything with you?
All the time.
That happens a lot.
I'm sure there is.
My
Yeah.
entire career.
Yeah.
100%. And there's people that are nobodies, you know, in the scheme of like popularity, that I don't give a shit. Like one of the artists I signed, and I got her a major record deal, a major publishing deal. Nobody knew her. Somebody hit me to her. She came to my studio, and I sat and talked with her for hours before I even listened to her music. And I was already like, yeah, I want to fuck with you, because we can always make dope music.
Yeah.
I can't make you a dope human being.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if you're dope, everything else
It's false advice.
will fall into place, and everything you do will be dope because you're dope. So that's why you see people come and go, like, you know, what happened to that guy that went viral last year, or what happened to that artist that had one hit, or what happened to that. Usually it's because they're probably not a good fucking person.
Yeah.
So okay, let me ask you this: do you think people can actually like genuinely change, or do you think
Yeah.
deep down people are just gonna be the same person they always are?
No, I do think people can change. I mean, even young people watching this, you don't care or think about the ramifications
Of your actions.
of your act. You don't, because you're not experienced enough. You can't put an old head on
Yeah.
on young shoulders, right? So it's just experience.
Yeah.
You're in this like tiny world of like whether you're, let's say you're just a streamer, right? Not just a streamer. Let's say that's your main thing that you do. Your world is kind of limited because it's your full-time thing. So most of the shit you're going to know about is related to that world that you're in, right? So you won't realize when you do something like this, it affects this person over here, but you don't get it because you don't even really know the mentality of those people, because you know the mentality of these people. And I didn't know that as a kid because nobody told me better. And there's no fucking excuse for the young generation now to do dumb shit because you fucking know better. It's all over the internet. The internet tells you. There's a ton of shit that fucking shows you what you're doing is wrong and what's going to happen if you keep fucking doing it. When I was a kid, you didn't have that. You had a fucking PSA that came on once in a great while on TV. There wasn't an internet or a legion of fucking groups and sites that told you this is what's going to happen to you. So it's hard to feel sympathetic for a young person that has all the fucking tools to know what to do right and they decide to do wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. The access to the information's there now. That's something that came with technology. You know what I mean? Before the access
But the
wasn't
wrong
there.
information, the misinformation.
Well, you got to be careful what you consume. You know.
Well, people choose who they want to hang out with, how they want to live their life, and what they consume. You decide who you want to follow. You decide who you're going to pay attention to. You decide who you're going to emulate. You decide who you want to fucking hang out with, right? So like you guys, for instance, being brothers. What did I say last night at dinner? That must be so amazing. You get to spend all your time with your best friend and your brother and build business together.
No, absolutely, yeah.
Right? And it's
blessed.
Right, and it's like, but we all don't have that. We all don't have someone that's going to check you on something or remind you about something or be there to hug you or assist you on something or tell you, bro, nah, that's not the smart move to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? I know your older brother looks out and does that for
Yeah,
you.
yeah, of course. Yeah.
I'm sure you probably do it to him too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, I do.
Both ways. Both ways.
Yes, I do.
Right? And that's our responsibility as friends or even as a society. We are supposed to tell each other, bro, chill. Like, that's not the right thing to do. But we're encouraging people to go up and smack somebody on video and then post it like, yo, that's crazy. No, it's not crazy. It's fucking distasteful and it's shitty and it's fucking the demise of humanity.
I agree.
And for some reason, it gets like romanticized. That kind of like video shit, like all the bad shit you see now. Like it's like before they even trying to go help someone now. It's like, oh, let me pull up my phone because I can post it on Twitter. I'm gonna get these views or whatever. Everyone's just worried about the views now. You know what I mean?
I was talking to my son about that the other day. We were driving down the street. Shout out Jack, and I was like, we were just talking about this kind of a little bit, and I was like if I seen a guy hanging from that building right now, my first instinct, if I looked up, I'd literally stop the car and just run. And I'd run right to that building, like, oh my God, I gotta go help that guy.
Right.
And like, but that might also be a Boston thing, right? Like a Northeast thing. Like we just go and help. We'll run into the fire, even if we don't know
Don't
you.
even think about it. Yeah,
If you just flipped over in a car, we're literally jumping out of our car to go save you before the car's done rolling.
Right.
Right? And
Like an action scene. He's like, he's out in the car like the Matrix with the slow motion.
it's like we've lost that. And I like to think, you know, we as a country were like that. There was a time when somebody would do something awful or bad or say something that was just hideous, and we as a society would be like, that's a bad dude. Like, let's all not like celebrate this
Right.
person. Let's all like get him out of here. Now you have half the country that celebrates shittiness.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And because it goes back to what I was saying, they're shitty themselves.
Yeah.
So they're encouraging more shitty because they don't know how to not be shitty.
Yeah, this.
We're getting way too deep, guys. I didn't know we were.
We are getting deep. We are getting deep. I like that. I like it.
I see Evan
So-
looking at me like, oh shit, I didn't know Clint was going to say
No,
that.
I like it deep like this.
But no, yeah, I mean, to go back to when you were talking about, you know, the gift of giving, right? How you've always been a giver and like never really, you know, you weren't looking at that person like, oh, what's he gonna give me in return? You know, you were just like, look, I'm here to help you. Like, you're a dope person. I want to help you.
Well, because the art of that is the more you give, people will just give back to you without
Absolutely.
even asking.
Absolutely, it's an energy-based flow. It's an energy transfer thing in the universe.
And I don't mean that like a karma will come back. I mean specifically, if I know, this is where patience comes in, I need Levi to do this thing for me. I'm going to start planting those seeds now by seeing how I can serve him for the next 3, 4, 6 months. And inevitably, and by the way, I'm also going to do an assessment of this character before I do this, because I need to know if he's going to be able to do what I need him to do. 6 months down the line, what's he inevitably going to do? After I do 3, 4 great things for you, what are you going to say to me?
You need anything?
It's just going to come.
Yeah.
You just have to have the patience and not look thirsty.
I just feel like it's how the universe works. So that's just
Yeah.
that's just like whatever you put out is what you're gonna get in return. That's just I feel like that's just like a golden rule. Like
I'm just
for
a
these-
walking good vibe.
So you
Good-
are.
good
You
things
are.
just
Listen,
I don't think it's 100% true because I'll tell you, I'm a positive, happy motherfucker.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of fucking shit comes back my way. You know
But it's
what
how
I
you
mean?
deal with it.
Yeah, but that's different than what you guys say. You're like, oh, it's all going to just come back.
Yeah.
Sure, it'll come back. But what you have to do is filter.
Fill it out, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You're gonna step on landmines in life, man. Like when you deal with as many people as
Takes
as
them
we
out.
deal with, like there's gonna be a bunch of fucking safe land, and you're gonna step on landmines. Those landmines are the shitty people that try to.
So I had my goal for the new year, my like resolution or whatever. I was genuinely gonna try to enjoy every day of my life. Like genuinely try to enjoy every single day of my life because everyone's gonna have those bad days. Like you're saying, they're gonna step in that landmine because you're not gonna avoid it. You can't avoid it. Everyone's gonna have that bad day. And why just make yourself like when you're having like just a normal day and you're just like, oh, I don't feel good. Like, but why you like that? Because that you're gonna feel like that eventually. You know what I mean? Like that day's gonna come. You're gonna have that emotion where you're like sad or depressed, whatever, and you're gonna have a reason to be instead of like just moping around. You're upset about your fucking
Well, it all
coffee.
goes back to like what you allow to upset you.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Right.
But that's everyone nowadays. I feel like, you know what I mean. That's like normal nature. I don't know why. I don't know if it's social media. I don't know if it's.
Yeah, that's another thing, man. Like even like you get it more than he probably would get it. Is like you're so. The internet, social media is so ingrained in how you grew up. It's your life.
Yeah,
you don't
literally.
know another life
Literally,
other
yeah,
than that.
Yeah.
So you don't even know the poison and toxicity because it's just so normal to your life.
right.
Right? So that's why this generation, it's so difficult for them to maybe even listen to some things I have to say where they could dismiss it or be like, oh, you don't get it or that. But I fucking get it. Half the shit you do, I created it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
so don't fucking tell me I don't get it because I can fucking probably do it better than you if I care to do it. But the thing is, you're so ingrained. It's almost like when you grow up in a racist home, right? And you don't know any different. It's all your parents talked about.
Yep.
They were just hateful or angry, and you don't even realize that this isn't the whole world.
Because it's all you've ever known.
Yeah, you just think, and then you go out, and maybe you go to college and you meet some people from a different race, and you're like, and if you're smart enough, you're like, what the fuck? I've always thought these people did this or
Yeah.
thought like
Yeah,
that
100%,
because you didn't know
yeah.
better. You have no escapism unless you literally delete the internet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, you guys can't escape it. It's always there for you. When you wake up, hi, it's social media. We're waiting for you. When you fucking
It's
sit
crazy,
there,
man.
Like it's like a magnet. You'll like for no reason be like.
Literally, yeah, for sure.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's got its fucking claws in
programmed
you,
into your mind.
and it's telling you who to be and how to be all the time. But in order to not let that, you have to first understand that. Most people don't understand. Like, no, I don't really let it do it to me that much. No, I don't let it. You can't lie to yourself first.
Speaking of like Aaron Rodgers, I don't know if you saw what he's doing though. Before he makes a decision on if he's going to retire this year or not, he's going and he's
is it
doing a silent retreat for 4 days where he's in a room I think he's in South America. He's in a room in the darkness, no technology, no nothing for 4 days, just in a dark room. And he said that he had people that he had talked to that had profound experiences from just cutting everything else off and being with their thoughts in that room for 4 days to like, it's called a silent retreat.
Yeah.
To do this silent retreat to like help him make a conscious decision on where he wants to go with his life now.
And it's completely pitch black.
Completely pitch black.
Can't that drive you crazy?
I was gonna say that could be a dangerous place.
Yeah.
Being in your head alone like that,
Open up
the doors
doors
could
like,
be a dangerous place.
It's supposed to be like, it's, I don't know the, I don't know
I'm
the
gonna go
goal
play for the
ins and outs.
Jags.
I don't know the, I want to play for the Jags.
I'm gonna go play for the Jags.
I don't know the whole ins and outs of it, but yeah, it's called a silent retreat where you're in a room by yourself for 4 days in
What's
the
the
dark.
other
I
thing
think
called?
they do peyote too.
That's what
I
I was
like the
saying.
peyote.
Well, no, it's called something else though.
I'm
What's
pretty
the
sure
other
he-
one?
Oh, ayahuasca.
There you go.
Yeah,
Ayahuasca.
He did an
I'll watch
ayahuasca.
you do
He
it,
did an
and I ain't doing
ayahuasca
that
retreat
shit.
last year, but this one's like a silent retreat. But anyways, I want to reel this back in real quick. I want to get to the gaming side of things. So what made you want to become involved in the gaming business? Was that something that was always a passion of yours?
What made you want to step over from like the music thing to go into esports? Like,
Greg Selko.
Greg did?
Greg Selko, the CEO of XSET, who was also the president of FaZe Clan. So I've known Greg for 20 years. When he was the CEO and founder of Karmaloop, which was the world's biggest streetwear fashion website, he revolutionized, e-commerce. So he calls me one day and says, "Yo, come to this office in Hollywood right now." And so I come there and I walk in, and he goes, "Yo, we're gonna do this new thing, gaming and esports." And obviously I played everything from Atari to Nintendo to everything growing up. But I didn't know gaming at that time. I didn't know gaming was a business like that. I didn't know esports. Nobody that's not in esports knows about esports, basically, right?
Right.
So like,
And this is back in the early 2000s, right? This was
this is
the late
2000. No, this is 2016.
Okay, 2016.
Is that when we went to FaZe? Started FaZe or 17? Anyways, at that point, FaZe was just a bunch of popular kids online.
Yeah, they had
didn't have a
sniping
business
clips.
model. They weren't driving revenue. They weren't like into the cultural stuff like they are. And they may be individually, but as a brand, they weren't connecting to culture like
Right.
that. So when we got there, the mission was take this brand and turn it into a conglomerate.
Right.
So I go there and he's like, "We're gonna get into this gaming thing. Here's what it's about." And I was sitting there and I was like, it was like the boiler room, like everyone's running around. It was just crazy because it was like new. This guy from Norway came over with $20 million and was ready to start this company, FaZe. So I sat there for a couple of days and I analyzed it and did research on it, and I was like, holy shit, this gaming space is what my mind has been built for my whole life, but my brain has always been too big for every industry I've been in. This is limitless. You can do everything here. I can connect every single one of my superpowers to this one thing and blow this company up. And I remember thinking, like, after like the third day, I was like, is this company's success contingent on that guy's decisions? And it was one of the founders, and they were like, "No, don't worry about it." I was like, "All right, cool, I'm in." And then, so I started with that company, and brought everybody from Pitbull to Offset to Sway Lee to Yo Gotti, DJ Paul, Ray J, Big Boy, Troy Carter, all these things, and then me, Will, and Greg. Will also, who's a founder of XSET and also was part of Karmaloop. All three of us went to FaZe. And we just took all of our skills of building and connecting and shaping and shifting culture over the past 15 years.
Yep. All your superpowers.
Yeah, we brought it to FaZe. And that's how we got into the gaming and esports space. Why we left and started XSET is because it was just like a lot of pushback of what we understand and how to build a company to what they were willing to allow us to do. or
different
accept.
visions.
Just different visions.
Yeah. So, and then, and plus, like, it was just like it kind of felt like you were never appreciated or respected or for like all the great you would do there. It was just kind of like, why, what's the point of doing all this dope here when like, there's only one person that wants to look like they shine in this company and kind of blocks everything and doesn't want to connect dots and just.
So you guys created XSET for your vision of what you guys see where gaming can go as a whole.
Right. So it was like, and by the way, we weren't going to try to start another FaZe or 100 Thieves or
No, you wanted to be your own thing.
We are building something that hasn't existed yet.
I was like, we're building that first thing.
Yeah, so we'll be the first of what we do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
At what we're doing. It just stemmed from the experience that we got in the introduction from helping to build FaZe and then taking it over here. So like, even like FaZe or anybody else, they won't even, they'll want to be a part of what we're doing, and we'll be fine with that. Like, we're building something so big that all of the orgs will be like, shit, we want to be down with what XSET's doing, because we're not just building a hoodie org or just signing celebrities to say, look how cool we are, let's do some activations and, you know, do some online celebrity tournaments. Like, been there, done that.
Right.
Like, I don't ever want to do the same thing that we've done over again. Neither does Greg or Will or anybody else at XSET. So when we started this, we started with a big vision. Now, when we started it, there was another partner that was involved that prevented us from moving as fast as we wanted to move. That partner is no longer here, so now we're moving in fifth gear for the original mission that we were building XSET for, which will be a cultural disruptor and a leader in this entire space, connecting fashion, music, sports, art, culture, and entertainment.
Well, that was a big thing for us, you know, when he blew up, when Evan blew up in gaming, in the Warzone scene, and we had agents reaching out to us left and right. They want to represent him here. They want him to go to this org wants this. And when we met with y'all, when we met with XSET, and we talked about, it wasn't about like, oh, we've done this, and this. This is who we signed. This is the clothing we have. This is the vision we want to build as a family. And
it went back to what did I say earlier? Who we are.
Yeah, exactly.
As people.
Exactly.
Right? Like, 'cause look, we didn't have the most money. We didn't have all the accolades as a company, but you could say, I fuck with them.
Exactly.
I believe them.
And after all these meetings, you know, after we got off we sat down, we talked, we were like, these are the people that we vibed with, like that we felt had genuine energy on, like, what believed in what they were doing in the first place, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, you know, that's why we decided to join, and
we don't fake the funk.
No.
Like, if something's not, we'll be honest about it. Like, all right, we're not doing great at this right here.
That's truly important too for like a good business as well. Like,
Yeah.
you can't be
Yeah.
like, if you can't tell someone or like be honest with them, like even with your boys, like you're just your boys. If you can't be honest with your boy, that ain't your boy.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Or your
Yeah.
girl.
or your girl, yeah.
I've lost friends and relationships over that. Over being honest, like
My honesty has probably got more people mad at me than help, because people don't like honesty.
But I say
they're not used to it.
Yeah.
They're not used to it.
Yeah.
They're,
Especially when it's honest about them.
Yeah,
You know
right,
what I mean?
true.
Like,
Yeah,
people
yeah,
don't
true.
want to know, like look, it's self-awareness is a very rare skill that most people have, to recognize what problems they could be contributing to a situation, or having the ability to accept somebody else pointing something out to them. Because why? They'll be like, well, what about you? Right? Or why should I listen to you? Because look what you did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I listen to everybody, because you can even learn from an idiot. You can learn how not to be an idiot. You know what I mean?
Touche.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
Seriously.
Yeah, you're
So
right.
people usually determine who they're going to listen to based on their own opinion of the quality of who they are as a person. However, to quote my good friend Charlie, he once said, you know, I used to look at the people up top to help me get higher and better, when all along it was the people below that made me become better and could help me excel. And most people are always looking for the answers up there, or they're looking to be like something up there. But there's so much magic down here that just didn't get the shine, and you're neglecting them because you think they didn't, because they're not up there, they don't have equal value as the people up there. And a lot of people up there are not good people, and they failed their way to the top.
Yeah, I've heard that saying before. Failed their way to the top. I've heard that saying before.
Well, you've heard it again now, Levi.
I have. You're right. Listen, you're dropping gems on us today.
Well, hopefully the audience enjoys
They
this.
will. This has been a good podcast for sure. You want to wrap it up?
Yeah. Where are we at on time?
Pushing almost an hour.
Okay, let's go.
Total.
We go a little bit longer.
Okay.
So what's new? What's the future hold?
So
What can we talk about?
so I have books out. If people don't know, I
Yes.
have multiple books out.
And you have an online course as well, correct?
I do have that as well, to help the millions of unsigned and independent artists figure out how to do more dope shit and less whack shit.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of people online trying to, sell you on how to become successful, how to get 1 million streams, and all these things. And it's like, it's all lies, man. It's all bullshit. Everybody that tries to sell you these things. I mean, when people would say, "Oh, I'm going to show you how to have passive income. Sit on the fucking beach at 19 years old and make $100,000 a month."
Yeah.
It's fucking bullshit, man. And
Like TikToks, I see that. It's literally just on TikTok.
yeah, dude, it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
It all comes down to, if you read my books, I have 2 books. One's called How to Win Big in the Music Business. Damon John from Shark Tank wrote the foreword. The other one's called 10 Traits That Made Me Millions in the Music Industry, a guide on how it can help you too.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I say music industry, don't be fooled, because it's applicable to any, from gaming
Really just
to,
in life,
sports, to just entrepreneurs, to your own personal relationships. The tools and the antidotes and the principles and values that I talk about and teach in these books will just help you dominate at life. And it's funny because when I wrote it, you know, everybody from Rob Dyrdek to Damon John, I've all called me. I was like, bro, why did you put music business on this? This is a book about how to win at life. So if I want to teach them how to be a better person, what do I got to do? I got to put the medicine in the food they like, because nobody wants to take medicine, right? So if I'm teaching them how to music and I'm Trojan horsing how to make you better by showing you how to excel in the music industry, inadvertently, you're going to just become a better person, which in turn will make you be successful in the music industry or gaming or whatever else it is.
You're like tricking them almost. It's like a trick, but it's a good trick.
Manipulating, as I said.
It's crazy to see how much psychological like preparedness you put into every decision.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that, you know, since we've become a part of XSET, that I've noticed from you is like, so you look at everything from you try to get every perspective, and you're like, okay, how's this going to do if it does this or this, and then you attack it from like a very almost like a higher echelon, like psychological perspective, which is very cool.
Well, nothing I do and no decision I make is based off of my own personal taste or just my biased opinion. Like there's a lot that I take into consideration from a psychological standpoint, from a historical standpoint, from an experiential standpoint, from, you know, the people around me's feelings to the history of dealing with the people around me. So there's, like, as you said, there's a lot of thought. I don't just like shoot from the hip and be like, well, I think I should do this because of this. Because that's dumb, and that's how you make mistakes. And that's how you don't take other people into consideration. It's difficult to get to this level of thinking. What's even more difficult is for other people to understand this level of thinking.
Correct.
Because they don't think like that. So they can't fathom what really goes into your thoughts. So they're looking at it at face value, like, why should we do it that way? Because you think so? Well, I could explain for half an hour why I think so, but I just don't think that you'll fucking understand it, because you're going to still have your biased opinion on why you think I'm saying this. Not why you know, why you think.
Yeah.
And thinking can fuck you up when you think the wrong way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thinking can. Yeah. I missed me for a second because I was just like.
Haven't started thinking and it fucked him up.
I was thinking.
We got fucked up thinking.
Yeah. But I mean, I think that's good, bro. We can wrap it up. You know, we don't want to make the hotel too mad. You know, Kenny's lying about his honors
They're
members.
probably just going to charge me.
No, I'm a Healthy Honors member.
Right.
Let's end it like this. We'll do one question from each of us for Clinton, and then we'll close it out.
How about the audience? Any questions from the audience?
Any questions from the audience? Scott, you got any questions?
Y'all got one question?
We all got one question.
I got a question for you. Let me start. Who do you got at the Super Bowl?
If it's not the Patriots in the Super Bowl, I don't give a shit.
Oh, okay, touche.
Let's go.
That means we answered. That means I ain't giving so much game.
You
don't
ready?
have to-
No, you ready? No, this is like completely off topic, left field. What is your favorite song ever and why? That's a loaded question. Look, I made you change your whole form.
Oh no, I got itchy.
You're like, oh shit. Favorite song ever and why?
That's a deep question.
That's a hard
That was a tough one.
What's the one where you're just like, or maybe you just wake up and you're like, I'm just in the mood to listen to this song. Like, it takes me back to this moment. Or
Well,
something.
I don't think anybody in the world can answer that question.
It is tough.
Yeah.
Because it depends your mood.
That's what I mean. So let's say you wake up in the morning, you're just like, I just want to chill. You're like, I want to play this song. It's just a good song.
That's a really hard question.
Yeah, next time you ask that question, it's like, which song makes you the happiest? Which song makes you the happiest?
Yeah.
Or which one meant the most to you?
What do
Does
you
that make it easier?
Or that? Yeah. I don't know.
Does not.
No.
If I had to sit on an island and play one song, anytime I went to listen
There
to
we
music,
go.
I could
Yeah,
only
yeah.
listen to one song for the rest of my life, it would probably be Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen.
Love that.
Yes.
Why?
Because it's so many changes. So if I'm thinking for the rest of my life, there's so many changes, it will feel like I'm not listening to just one song over and over again. Two, there's a lot of different emotions in that song, so it can like fulfill me being sad, it can feel me being happy, feel victorious. So I had to pick one song that I had to just listen to forever. It's the only song that came on when I pressed play.
Do you know who sings that song? You heard it earlier.
I just said Queen.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right, I got
Does
my.
Godku have a question?
Who's your GOAT rapper? Who's your favorite rapper?
Of all time or
Yeah,
right
of
now?
course. No, all time.
Favorite rapper of all
I
time.
kind of like this. Is
I'm
kind of.
Biggie. It's hard. A lot of good ones.
Yeah, because there's a lot of reasons why somebody would be your favorite. If I had to pick one rapper that I could listen to forever, I guess it would probably be Jay-Z.
Okay.
Have you seen the Billboard's top 100 or
Yeah.
top 50?
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
agree? What do you think?
Um,
People are hating on that.
I didn't see it.
It's an interesting list. So they got. I mean,
Every time
it's
they come out with a
great to
list
see.
of who the
Jay-Z's
top
number
50
one, Kendrick's 2.
Oh, this is ever? Ooh, I like that.
Jay-Z's 1, Kendrick's 2. I think 3 is.
every year there's another list of who's the top.
Yeah, it's just a
rappers.
debate. Yeah, it's the same thing in sports, right? Like MJ,
It's
LeBron,
clickbait.
Kobe.
I don't think you ever
like-
said it.
It's clickbait and it's opinionated by
yeah,
a
100%.
staff
Yeah.
of people that have their own opinions.
Yep,
So
yep.
it doesn't matter.
It's for the
anymore.
views, like
Remember
they always do.
when the Call of Duty person would tweet out like the top 8 players of the month or whatever? Like, what was it based off of? Everyone was pissed about that shit all the time.
You can't compare GOAT in really a lot of things because unless someone's dominating, I'd say there's certain things. Tom, I'd say he's probably GOAT in quarterback world just because of what he's done.
Yeah.
But there's hard rappers.
There's so many nuances.
We got Tupac,
like,
Biggie, we got so many.
because it's like what they meant to you, what they
100,000.
stood for at
For
the
sure.
time that they were at their prime. There's so many different
A
things.
bunch of MJ LeBron.
And that's exactly. You can't even say who's better.
What's your question?
They compare us with
My-
Call of Duty.
My
Like, who's
question.
better?
My question is, if you could have one superpower, what would it be?
I like that.
I already have it.
What is it?
Right?
Caring.
I like that.
Because everything is based off of caring. And a lot of things don't work unless you actually give a shit or care. Whether it means chasing your dreams, helping other people, listening, all of the things that can make you great come from that one superpower. And I've learned to master the art of caring.
The art of caring. I like it. All right, I think that's a
Wait,
wrap.
I actually have a question for you now.
Okay,
It's his
okay.
show. He gets to change the
All
rules.
right, you ready? So I walk up to you, right? I got a bag.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
$1 million in cash right now. I say, here, I'll give you this $1 million right now. You can walk away, whatever. But I got this coin for you. You can flip it for $1 billion. Would you do it?
No.
Take $1 million, right?
Yeah.
Why?
Because a bird in the hand beats two in the bush.
He's going to be beaten in the bush after he loses his $1 million.
we took-
I know, because I didn't. No. Here's the problem. This is the problem with you guys. I don't worry about what I could have got. I celebrate what I did get.
Don't say you guys. Point to that.
Yeah, boys, like, we took $1 million. I took $1 million.
I just looked at it from a statistical standpoint. I was like, listen, I'm going to make $1 million in my lifetime, and I'm not going to be able to retire my mom on $1 million in the bank, but I could retire my grandchildren's grandchildren on $1 billion. So
But you could also take that $1 million and do the right thing with it to go get that $1 billion.
you could, or I could take the coin flip and
miss.
and,
And
then guess what? I'll go make that $1 million in the next couple years or whatever, however long it
Maybe.
takes, and then do the right thing with it.
Yeah, making
But
$1 million in America. That's
if you look at the
Chopped.
from a just from a strictly statistical
Yeah, words are hard,
viewpoint,
yeah.
words are hard. From a statistical viewpoint, flipping the coin for $1 billion, like a 50-50 shot at $1 billion, is you're not going to get a better shot.
respect that.
Look,
$1
I
million
want to
$1
end
million
with this. I want
cash,
to end with
though?
this. Most people worry too much about woulda, coulda, shoulda,
Yeah.
as opposed to what happened. They're never content with what they got. I'll give you a perfect example. I bought IPO in Facebook. Right? It was the beginning of my kind of like investing as being becoming an investor. And it was a tumultuous time with that at first. So I was scared. I put a lot of money into it, and I didn't have that much money, but I did it. And I think it opened at whatever the number was, $27 or $31, whatever. Then it went down to like 12. Now, this was all new to me. So like as any new investor, you're like, oh my God, I'm losing my money. Comes up, goes down, comes up. Then it went up to like 52 or something like that. And I was like, sell, right? And
Unrealized gains, yeah.
right, sell it. And I made money.
Mhm.
Then it ended up going up, you know, during COVID up to like 368, back down to like 141 or whatever. But like, most people are like, dude, you're an idiot, you sold it. I'm like, what are you talking about? I just made money.
Yeah.
I don't worry about what could have happened if I didn't make that decision. Because when I make a decision, I make the best decision for me in that moment. And I don't worry about, oh, if I didn't make this decision, this could have happened. All right, well, that doesn't even exist. It's like not even, you're making up
Yeah.
hypotheticals.
Yeah, and too many people get caught up in that hypothetical like thought process of like,
Yeah, stop worrying
This is what could
about,
happen,
stop
this
worrying
might
about
wrong.
what you could potentially maybe get
Yeah.
and be excited about what you actually
you
can
have.
get.
and remember to care.
Yeah.
Life's a mindset.
I like it.
Good mindset.
All right,
familiar.
well, we want to keep bringing.
You've been shocked.
Yeah, we
Shocked,
want,
yeah, I like
we want
it,
to
I
keep
like it,
bringing
I
more
like
of
it.
these podcasts to you guys. We want to thank Clinton for being our first official
thank
guest.
you, man. Thank you.
And you know, this is going to be fun for us, man. We want to bring you guys some IRL content, not just the gaming side of things. So rep the set, baby, as always.
Rep the set.
And
Get familiar.
remember to care.
And don't forget,
Out, baby.
follow at XSET.
Yes, sir.
At XSET.
Boom.
Rep the set.
Yes, sir.